Hello, everybody. Today is June. Nope, it's July. Keep forgetting. It's July 2nd. And I came across this interesting article, and it's titled Coronavirus US. Who is eligible for hazard pay during the COVID 19? Now, before I get into this article, I would like to say, I personally believe that all essential employees are should be eligible for hazard pay. They deserve hazard pay. And it's a real problem that employers have to go out of their way, apply for these grants so they can reward essential employees hazard pay because one, I don't think we should allow our employers to distribute this sort of thing. We don't know what's going to happen to the money. Two, your employers may not even go out and get it. Three, we don't. I personally think that all essential employees deserve hazard pay because, well, one, you have to think like this. One, the main reason why essential employees deserve hazard pay is because they're working during a global pandemic, exposing themselves possibly to the COVID 19, their loved ones and friends and family at home. The COVID 19 in research was so bad that they had to shut down a global economy, and that, millions of people have died from it. So why not? That's the first reason why. The second reason why is because you make more money through the CARES Act. If you're making more money staying at home through the CARES Act, and if majority of people on unemployment are making more than those on the care than essential employees, well, there's something wrong with the government and how they issued the unemployment insurance. Now, that's not the people on unemployment's fault, okay? Because if you're making more money than ever off unemployment, well, why would you want to go back to work anyway, especially during now in these conditions? You wouldn't want to. It's the government's fault, not those abusing it. It's the government's fault. Okay? Three, it's just that time is money. Okay? So while people have been making more money than ever to stay at home, collect more money, go on vacation, do whatever they want, study, work under the table, money laundering, studying, bettering their skills, suiting themselves up for the new economy and the new society we're going to be heading into. Essential employees have been working harder than ever, haven't had the free time, and time is money. 4 months plus of free time, making more money than ever, and utilizing that time however you want is priceless. Because time is money. How much money is that time if you were to make an equation? It varies from person to person, but it's a lot of money. So, anyway, let's get into this article. I personally believe that all essential employees should receive a hazard pay. And not a small lump sum either. It should be a large lump sum. Enough so that essential employees don't feel like they've been shafted. I don't want essential employees to receive $10,000. I don't want them to receive $13 an hour. That's not enough. There has to be a good amount of money that essential employees receive that don't make them feel as if it's just a pat on the back. It's just a pat on the shoulder. It's just a congratulations, Terry, thank you. It has to be enough that essential employees, after recognizing that they've been taken advantage of financially, time, and their health, it has to be enough that essential employees feel validated to be an essential worker than to be off unemployment. It has to be significantly much more to compensate for these three big issues: time, health, and money. So, let's get into this article. Many social media conversations about hazard pay inevitably bring up the extra $600 weekly in unemployment benefits that workers wish they had received too. And again, that's fine. It's okay to get that $600 a month additionally. But you better make sure that you compensate essential employees enough so that it pretty much overshadows the 600. It has to be enough. It has to be significantly more so essential employees don't have any remorse by being essential employees. Hazard pay means additional pay for performing hazardous duties or work involving physical hardship. Work duty that causes extreme physical discomfort and distress which is not adequately alleviated by protective devices is deemed to impose a physical hardship. Right. Do those masks and gloves, Is that really going to stop you from getting the COVID-19 when you're talking to people as a grocery clerk, when you're cleaning up as a nurse, when you're cleaning up as when you're a doctor, when you're a nurse, when you work the front lines, in any situation when you're interacting with people or contaminated objects? Is those gloves and masks enough to prevent the COVID-19? No, it is not. It prevents it, but it is not. Hazard pay doubts raised. The Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, does not address the subject of hazard pay, except to require that it's been included as a part of federal employees' regular rate of pay in calculating the employees' overtime payments. Essential workers in almost every field could be due a $250 check in the near future. That's not enough. That's not enough. Weren't they talking about paying $450 additionally for people to get off the CARES Act and then go back to work? But you want to receive $250 in a one-time check? You know, the $450 that's going to be reoccurring to get people off unemployment to go back to work is reoccurring. The $250 you want to pay in a one-time check is a one-time check. After the government shut down the United States economy in order to stop the spread of the COVID-19, lawmakers passed the CARES Act that gave a single stimulus payment to millions of Americans suffering during the global pandemic. They also gave an extra $600 weekly payment to people who qualified for unemployment benefits. So that means you're making $600 flat with the additional 50, 60, 70% you would have made from your wages weekly. Lawmakers, however, left out some essential workers. No law or bill has passed to increase the pay for workers who were asked to keep going, risking their lives during the pandemic. Some companies did create a hazard pay or hero pay, typically around $2 extra an hour or a one-time bonus. As the economy has reopened, many since ended it. So, if you work 40 times, that $2 extra an hour is nothing. It is not enough. That $2 an hour, extra an hour, as we've seen from the previous article, was barely given out to anybody. I didn't receive that. A lot of people didn't receive that. Some companies did, and they took it back immediately after anyways. $2 additional or unemployment. Which one would you want? The $2 additional to work during these times or to stay at home and collect bank? Up to you. As the economy has reopened, many have since ended it. Louisiana legislators are helping essential workers. They have passed Hazard Pay Act, which, with $50 million available, they have passed a Hazard Pay Act with $50 million available for thousands of Louisiana citizens to collect. The bill is still awaiting the governor's signature for final approval. So for people who have been working during the period of 22 March until May 14th, that would mean that less than $50,000 a year working at least 200 hours qualified for a rebate of $250. Wow. Yeah, that's not much of a compensation. I think all these people in Louisiana would rather receive the unemployment benefits than get a $250 rebate, but okay. It is estimated that at least 200,000 people will be able to apply through the Department of Revenue until the 50 million dries up. Democrats have also aimed to help essential workers when the House approved the HEROES Act, but the Republican controlled the Senate, and President Donald Trump immediately called that bill dead on arrival as it awaits the final decision. Well, that's interesting. The biggest question here is, one, who's eligible for it? I don't know. I think all essential employees should be. Two is $250. Wow. Just give me that unemployment, man. Interesting. Really interesting.